everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today we are so thrilled to be here showing you a little bit of a piece of history in the pipe tobacco world. We've got a few guests with us. I've got Tyler Edwards with me. He's a subscriber of the show, and also he's part of the International Pipe Lounge. And so that's kind of where we have hooked up. We saw each other in Chicago. To my right over here, we've got our buddy Ryan Cottle. And then, of course, to my left, we have the respected man of Perique, who is Mr. Mark Ryan. Mark, thank you for inviting us to your place, and thank you so much for sitting in with us, man. All right.
I promise I wasn't chuckling when you said respected. I almost inhaled smoke.
No, I'm sure I understand what that meant. But anyway, we'll go on. Guys, today is our Tobacco Tasters episode, and we are going to talk to you a little bit today about GL Peace's new release, Bankside. Now, Bankside, of course, is blended by Cornell. It's blended by GL Peace, but is manufactured by Cornell and Deal. This is a Virginia-based tobacco that has Kentucky, Latakia, Perique, and Virginia. And so there are no flavorings added. It is a broken flake. It comes in 2-ounce tins. You can get this just about anywhere that sells GL Peace products. The strength on this is medium to full. The flavoring on this, there's really none detected. The taste on this is about a medium, maybe a little on the high side of medium. And then we'll go ahead and talk about some of the other things. All right, so guys, let's get into this blend and let's talk about what you are smelling first with our tin note. What are you guys getting out of the tin note on this? This is a great coffee blend, by the way, I think.
So, definitely getting the smokiness from the Latakia in there. I also get some breadier notes out of it. I don't know quite.
Maybe from the Virginias?
Maybe. And a subtle sweetness to it is kind of what I'm getting.
And just to let you guys know out there, you can also add your comments underneath what we are saying so that if you want future people to kind of get your ideas about it too, we want to make sure we share those ideas.
Well, it's got a beautiful nose, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I mean, and the Perique and the Virginia have really blended together well. And the Latakia, I mean, it's there, but it's not real strong and forward. It's not like a really intense English to me, which means I would like it, be inclined to like it more. So I don't know what the amount of Latakia is, but it's not overwhelming to me. It really smells good.
All right, Ryan, why don't you give a snort on that and see what you think?
Yeah, I do get a little bit of that Latakia, but it's not a whole lot.
It's not overwhelming.
I think I get more of the Kentucky than anything else.
Yeah.
Just that smoky, barbecuey smell that is intoxicating, honestly.
And we've been exposed to Kentucky the last 3 days, so that's been on our palate for sure, you know.
Maybe that's influencing it. But
yeah.
Yeah, and maybe some sweetness in the background, but that's almost all I
get.
get.
The sweetness too from the Perique.
Yeah, so I'm getting just a slight musty incense kind of smell from the Latakia. Maybe also that is added by the Kentucky a little bit. There's a sweetness in there. Not really an overbearing sweetness, but like a subtle sweetness in there.
Not like an aromatic.
Yeah, not at all. Lots
tobacco.
Of earthiness, lots of mustiness, lots of a little bit of a tangy sourness in there.
I get that earthiness from the Kentucky.
You guys want to sniff that again?
I got a good one. Yeah, I got the earthiness from the Kentucky. The burley.
Yeah, a little bit of spice, maybe a little pepper in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get any citrus in there?
I didn't initially, but now you suggested, I'm afraid to smell it because it's going to give me the power suggestion.
It's going to power
It'll
suggestion.
influence.
Yeah, I thought maybe a little lemony zest in there and citrus kind of background, just very light.
I don't
got a
think I
great
got
nose.
that. But
I don't know that I did, but
Yeah, you know the thing I like
Now,
about
the other thing is, blow some smoke over here. Let me get the room note.
Well, we're going to talk about the room note in a little
Okay.
bit, but yeah, that I think that it's complementary. to the 10 note for sure. You know what I like about the 10 note on this one is that I get a little bit of every tobacco, but they're all working in conjunction with each other, and there's no one that's just pungent, over dominating the blend. It's all kind of.
So we're on to the evaluation on the taste on the tongue now.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about the taste a little bit. What do you guys get on the taste?
It's very well balanced. It's not hot on the tongue, which is really good. I don't get any unpleasant flavors, and I'm getting some great finishes, and the Virginia that's in there has got to be mature and well aged, because I'm getting some of that cottony dryness on the back of the throat that I associate with a immature Virginia, and it's very subtle. I don't have very much. It's kind of like when you drink red wine, you get that tannic dryness from the tannic acid.
Yeah.
When I smoke a blend that's got some Virginia flue cured, because I do it a lot, I can get this like dryness on the back of my throat, the back of my tongue.
I'm getting like that kind of right in
not
here.
very much. Okay, so the Virginian dominating, the Virginia that's in there, I would suspect has some age on it, because it's
Well,
not
there's
all-
two types of Virginias in there. There's reds in there, and there's some brights in there also. So,
I think I'm catching a little more of the brights than the reds
yeah,
overall, just from how
I
I'm
think
smoking it.
that little zip or zing that's on the middle of my tongue that I'm getting from there might be from those brights. But I get also kind of a tangy, sweet and sour from the reds as well.
It's not burning real hot.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
cool smoke.
So it's not burning my tongue, and it's keeping lit well. So it seems like the moisture content's in balance too.
It's funny that they classify this as a Virginia based, because to me, with the Latakia and the Kentucky in there, I'm almost leaning more towards like almost on an English side, not so much as a
It's like a
Virginia.
mild English.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider it.
Yeah. Lots
Because
of
it's so well balanced, the Virginia to my palate isn't dominating.
lots of woodiness,
It's there.
earthiness in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you, Ryan, what are you getting out of this?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I haven't heard mentioned, and maybe I just missed it trying to dissect this in my own head, I'm getting some Latakia out of this. But I've told you guys before, and I've told Tom many a times, I'm pretty Latakia sensitive. I don't like it. It just, it has this off taste to me. It's almost oily. And I'm getting some of that here.
I'm getting it on the finish.
Yeah.
I can detect it. Another thing that's kind of interesting, I'm noticing now as I smoke it, I'm even getting some flavor off my lips,
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
and off the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that lingering, and it's nice. It's got a pleasant finish.
Mm-hmm.
After
Yeah,
an exhale.
it's good. I just
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
see the
highlight that because I
variety.
don't think that had been said. I'm getting some of that Latakia
Yeah.
coming forward.
but
That's
not overwhelming.
it's
not
interesting
overwhelming.
that you say that, because and I get it all, the English part of it on the finish, and on the front of it, I'm getting the Virginia part. It's really kind of cool that it's
Got a good
kind of
window.
changing as you smoke it. You get two different experiences from the same puff. Does that make sense? It's really kind of interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Anybody else getting any other kind of taste? I get, for me, the Virginias are not forward. For me, the Kentuckys and the Latakias are more prominent in this blend.
I agree with that.
It's kind of hard for me to pick out because I think overall it all marries together very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
it's
well.
really
It's
well
the
balanced.
flavors are marrying and the colors are marrying in
Yeah.
there. You can tell.
So, since we're at the Perique headquarters, so to speak, what are you getting any of the Perique out of
Oh, yeah.
this?
Yeah.
What kind? To describe
Well,
that to us.
Particularly on the nose, with a unlit, not off the pipe, but in smelling it in here, that's that fruity fermentation, like a fermented plum note, and that's from the Perique. I think that's where we're getting that great aroma from that.
What about on the palate? Yeah. Now
I'm,
see, and now
I'm getting it on the palate on the draw with the smoke, but after the exhale, the finishing notes, I'm getting it more inclined to the Latakia and the Pre on my palate.
Yeah.
I know it's a personal thing,
It's funny how.
but it's interesting. I'm getting that on my lips, and some of the dryness from the Virginia. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that blend.
It's rich. This has got a rich, bold kind of a stature to it. I think so.
And it is very well balanced.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else with the flavor, but now as you're smoking it down, and again, guys out there, if you're tasting something that we're not, or if you taste something more of what we're talking about, please add that to your comments. But let's go on and talk about the room note. What are you guys getting? And sometimes it's a little difficult to figure it out because you've got the pipe in your mouth. Your tongue is getting so much of the impact of the tobacco that the nose kind of sometimes misses the room note.
It's got a nice room note, I think.
Yeah, it's
It
oddly
does.
sweet.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's not something that would drive me out of a room.
For sure.
I think it's got a nice room note.
I think.
Not real intense. I'm also getting some different flavors as I exhale it through my nose.
Mm.
Yeah, it leaves a pleasant tobacco aroma in the room. Not an unpleasant tobacco aroma like a cigarette,
Yeah.
which will drive you down.
Right.
But it's got a pleasant note.
I
Flavor.
think for people that are not accustomed to having Kentuckys and Latakias,
It'd be a great
it might be
introduction.
basically a tolerable kind of room note. But I think those who are very inclined to having those in their tobaccos would really appreciate this room
That's it,
note.
too.
Yeah. This is quite an interesting blend. I still am wrapped up about calling it a Virginia-based because I really don't see the Virginia-based tobacco. This is to me almost more of a Kentucky-based or a Kentucky Latakia-based.
As far as the room note goes, I can't put my finger on what exactly it is, but it almost smells like if someone was right here in the kitchen, like making a certain type of pastry, and I can't think of what it would be like, but it's got that like fresh baked smell almost to me of some.
So
I wish I
you're
could
still
think
getting
of the
like the
pastry.
breadiness or the
Yeah.
yeastiness or something like that from the Virginias then. Having 4 different types of smokers here, that's we're getting a lot of different
Impressions
impressions
from it.
from on our palates from this. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Well, as I was rubbing it out, and by the way, we've got 2 folks that have stuff and puffed, right? Basically, put the broken flake into your pipes and gone. Mark, you kind of crumbled it out.
Broke it up loosely. I didn't really grind it
Right,
out real fine.
and I rubbed it out pretty well
I didn't
before
know.
I did. So we all have a little bit of a different.
I'm kind of in between you guys.
Yeah, but what did you think about moisture? I thought the moisture content on this was just right where it needs to be.
I think it's great.
I would agree. I was kind of expecting it to be a little too moist,
Me too.
Yeah,
but it's at the right amount. It's not a blend that you're going to have to sit out overnight to dry it a little bit before you can smoke it. Well, you can tell by these which we got the thing lit.
Yeah, two.
So the moisture was right.
Yeah, mine was just boom, ready to go once I
mine too.
lit it the second
Mine too.
time. Yeah.
And it's staying lit.
What do you think about nicotine on this, guys? Where would you rank the nicotine level on this? It's difficult to tell.
I
also.
don't really know how to judge that.
Yeah, it's I think I judge the nicotine content by how I'm feeling right now. Do I feel like the tobacco has any effect on my mood or my presence or not, That's kind of how I do it. Like right now, we haven't eaten breakfast. I had a couple of cups of coffee this morning, and right now I am kind of bringing it down. Yeah.
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 And if I smoke a really strong blend in the morning, it's a little unsettling for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't smoke anything real strong until later in the day, because it can be a little intoxicating, you know. And I'm not getting that. So
I think it's kind of
For a
right
morning
around
smoke.
mid-range as far as
I would
nicotine
agree with
goes.
because it's not hurting me. I feel like I could get up and walk.
You know, yeah.
Right.
You know, with the of course, the Latakia has very little nicotine
Right.
in it, but the Kentucky might have a little more in it. So maybe also those two the different types of tobaccos are kind of helping with the nicotine kind of be at a moderate to medium level, maybe.
And breaks moderate nicotine. It's not real high.
Yeah.
Because some people are vulnerable to the effects of perique, let's say. It's not from the nicotine. It's because that fermentation creates like 400 compounds. So it's that not only adding those flavors, it's adding all these other things.
Hmm.
You know,
That's interesting.
That are in the background.
So they're getting more maybe of not necessarily, I hate to say the word chemical, but
Well,
more,
it's an internal chemical reaction between how your genetics play with those different compounds.
yeah.
I guess in the same way, like some people can't do red Virginia. It's too like, I don't know. They say it's acidic to them. It like burns their mouth. I
Some
guess in that
people
same way.
can't do Latakia. Some people can't do perique. You know, if you're vulnerable to perique, man, it's intoxicating. And if you're vulnerable to perique, it's nauseating. You know what I mean?
And if you're not, it's
And if you're not, it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Deserve some Italian hands, you know.
Ambrosia, yeah.
But, you know, over 3 decades, you hear what other people say. It affects people differently.
Well, a couple of things about this blend that I kind of looked at and researched. You know, Pease is starting this new Zeitgeist collection, and this is the first of that series. And basically, you know, I was like, what the hell is Zeitgeist? You know, do you guys know what Zeitgeist
I do
means?
not.
Well, thanks to Greg, you know, he's very poetic
very.
in his descriptions, and so I can read just a little bit to you about this. The Zeitgeist collection is a pipe tobacco series from Greg Pease that pays tribute to the avant-garde and rebellious themes of the modern era. So I guess this is kind of a, you know, this is kind of a blend that it goes against traditional.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah,
but it's nice.
traditional grains.
It's like,
Little punk rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds good.
Each carefully formulated pipe tobacco is in the series evokes the spirit of a particular location, time period, and cultural milieu.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't even know what's milieu mean.
Environment.
Anyway, this inaugural mixture, Bankside, is a nod to modern art and architecture and the defiant but forward-looking culture that inspired the movement, with the tin depicting an abstract rendering of the Tate Modern Art Museum located in London's Bankside district. So that's kind of where all of this comes from. So there's going to be more in this collection. This just happens to be the first of what is in there. So I think that the Latakia and the Kentucky in this one works really well together. So well that it's almost difficult to differentiate between
And
the
Priest
two.
doing great with the Virginia.
Yes, and so
They're balanced.
you've got two different of the 4 types of tobaccos that are in here. You got a pair that are complementing themselves very well.
So I've been sitting here, forcing myself to puff a little harder, try to get it kind of hot, and I start noticing more of the red Virginias in the Perique when I do that. They stand out a little more.
When you smoke it hard.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I like about this, I'm looking at watching my my pipe as we smoke through it. It burns pretty cool and pretty clean and relatively slow.
Yeah.
It's got a pleasant aftertaste. The room note kind of lingers a little bit. It does leave a little bit of dampness in the bowl, but I think that's the kind of the characteristic of flakes, though, you know, because of the moisture content that they inherently have, just to keep them in the form of a
integrated
flake.
form.
Yeah. So I think you're going to expect that. Relights. How you been on relights?
I haven't had to.
I don't have to either.
So pretty good on the relights. Would you consider this as an all-day smoke? I think it depends on who you're talking to, but
I could.
I could do it if I didn't have many other alternatives.
Yeah.
Because I like this, but I wouldn't smoke it all day. It would be more an afternoon or evening smoke for me.
yeah, for me it's more of an evening smoke.
Yeah, it's when you want to sit down and relax and kick back.
Right.
And
It's a
enjoy
little heavy.
And enjoy the complexity of the different varieties and what they're bringing to the blend.
It's a little heavy for an all-day smoke
I mean,
for
in the
me.
mornings, I'm more into something light because I got to work and I don't want to get heady from the nicotine.
Yeah. And like I said, to me, this has an English feel to it.
I didn't pack a lot in there. I finished my whole bowl already.
Yeah, and it went all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a little funkiness to it. There's a little funkiness in there.
What do you
It
mean
does,
by
and
the
there's-
funkiness? What is that?
The funkiness is that kind of that musty incense.
Oh, wait a minute. I still have a little bit. Well, is there any Oriental in there?
No, there's no Oriental.
Because sometimes I get the little funk from the Oriental.
And that's what kind of threw me off, is because I feel like there could be some Oriental in
I
this.
don't really
You
get
can
that.
get it,
Let me see if after I said I didn't need to relight, I think it's gone.
Yeah. All right. Well, this comes in 2-ounce tins. It's about $12.96 per tin, so that breaks down to about $6.48 an ounce. So that's the breakdown on this one. Guys, please make sure that you're putting your comments underneath so that we can share those with the rest of the folks that are watching this video. All right, here comes the truth time. What do you think? What are you going to give this on a scale of 1 to 5 shots? What are you going to give it? Let's start with Tyler.
I think I'm sitting about a 4.
You like this one?
I do. I actually have a tin at the house that I haven't opened yet, and I'm definitely not regretting the purchase. And I'm not even smoking mine. But
Which makes it better.
oh yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I'd go
I
with
like
a
it.
4. I like
4?
it too. I'd
Okay.
give it a 4.
To me personally, I'd go a little lower just because I wouldn't reach for the
Latakia.
Latakia.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna just do the blend dirty. It is good. I'm just not a fan of Latakia. So for me, I think I would go with I'm stuck between 3 and 3.5. I'm trying not to let that bias get in the way because I would reach for this before I would reach for a lot of other things with Latakia in it.
Well, you know the thing for me to add on that, because I can't do heavy Latakia either. And when I got a heavy Latakia, it's a single pipe. I use 1 or 2 for the Latakia because of the way it affects the briar.
Yeah.
I would smoke this in a regular rotation pipe. I wouldn't have to go to that Latakia pipe.
Yeah. I would
I don't know if
agree
you would
with
agree
that.
with that or not.
Yeah, because it
Because if
is
it's
so
too
light.
much Latakia, it upsets my stomach a little bit.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3.5 then.
Okay.
I think that's pretty fair.
Well, I think this is absolutely a solid blend. There's nothing about it that offends me. There's nothing about it that turns me off. I could see myself every time I pack a pipe enjoying this blend to some extent. So I'm also going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. So with the average on that, as a group, we're giving GL Peace's Bankside a solid 4. Yeah,
I'd say so, yeah.
this has been a pretty good experience, especially. I mean, here it is, 9:00 in the morning, and we're smoking this heavy blend, and we're thinking, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it'd be even better after a meal in the evening with a nice little shot of bourbon.
Yeah.
Right
Wash
with
it
it.
down.
Yeah,
Did you say a little shot?
little shot.
Yeah.
Just a little shot.
A little shot.
Yeah.
It's about that much.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with us and doing this. Mark, this weekend has been such an experience for us. We can't thank you enough. You are a gracious and tremendously kind host. It was fun doing all the activities with you and walking through your factory. This is just a great thing. And make sure you guys watch our video that I've done with Mark on the process of periquing tobaccos, because you basically took a dead art and brought it back to life.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
an ongoing project.
Well, without that, we would not have Perique, and I know about half the viewers and all of my buddies at all the pipe clubs and everything. They'd be shit out of luck because they wouldn't have their favorite tobaccos. You know, they'd have to find something else. So on behalf of the pipe community, we thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
We really, really do. Guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you have a wonderful week. Go out there and smoke some Perique and enjoy it. Don't forget, make all your piping moments count. We'll see you next time. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.
Thank you.